So the first exercise in this leg workout is going to be deadlifts. Now, deadlifts are a very tricky exercise to get correct, so I would always double check with a personal trainer in the gym or some member of staff that knows what they're talking about, just to have a quick check at your form. A lot of people might need to start off with dumbbells if you find that using a barbell is too difficult, but if you are able to use a barbell, I personally like to just have a neutral position with my feet. I don't really like to do sumo, but you can vary up depending on what's comfortable for you, and really make sure you're using your legs. So you can see I come right down to the very bottom and use my legs and my bum to lift the bar up rather than my back and my arms. Next up, we are doing landmine squats. Now, you can do goblet squats if you don't have this available in your gym, but you pretty much could also actually do a hack squat or some kind of variation. Now, this is pretty much just a barbell which is bolted into the floor, and then you can put weight on it and you just squat down with it. It's quite a tricky one to get a hang of, but when you do, it is actually a really great exercise. Really targets and isolates the glutes and hamstrings. So again, feet apart, just further than your shoulders, toes pointed outwards and pushing up through your heels. Moving on to another hamstring exercise, we are doing cable lying curls. So you can do any variation of this that you want. You can use a dumbbell on your feet, you can use ankle weights, anything like that, but my gym's cable actually starts off at a really low weight, which is really nice, and allows me to be able to do this exercise. So really just lying on your front, you want to keep your foot flexed and just curl that ankle towards your glutes. So really just feeling that hamstring, do all the work. Your butt shouldn't really be coming off the bench, but of course it will slightly, because obviously not everyone's hamstrings are super strong. Moving on, we are doing split-legged lunges. So having your back leg raised up on something, it doesn't have to be as high as a bench, just raised on something, and then making sure you're focusing on that front leg. So coming down, and again, 90-degree angle, make sure your knees not in front of your toes and pushing through those heels. Now, an excellent exercise I have been doing is also banded walks. If you don't have a band or can't do this exercise, it's a very similar to doing a cable side kick. It just targets the side of the glutes, that kind of outer part where people may find they have hip dips, for example. Moving on to leg press, this again self-explanatory. A lot of people already know how to do a leg press, but pretty much just bringing the machine down towards you, knees towards your chest, but do not lock out your knees at the top. Always keep your knees slightly bent, and always use a weight that you can actually control and are reasonably comfortable with. So for me, you can either put your feet kind of parallel in front of you, or if you want to target more of your glutes, you can take a wider stance and also turn your toes out. It's totally up to you what you kind of want to target more, but for me this really targets my hamstrings and my quads.